janefinch.com headquarters. Anyways, thanks for coming by. So, introduce yourself and like, what's your relation to what's going on? Like, just tell me what's up, man.
Well, you know me already, Blacus Ninjah. Voice Jana Finch, mixtape, rah 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 on MySpace, internet, janefinch.com. Relation to the individual that passed, was killed, is my cousin. That's my baby cousin.
Jordan Manners.
Jordan Manners, yeah, correct. And it's like, it's real crazy right now. Mother's really upset. Everybody's upset.
When did you last see her?
No, I was just at the house just now. I don't know, half an hour. I'm gonna go back up there.
How's she holding up?
You know how those kind of things are. You can't really hold up to that. It hits you and it comes off and it hits you, and it's not even, it was probably the first day it happened. It's the first day of him being murdered.
So, how do you know, like, what do you know about that right now? What can you tell us?
I don't know nothing. The streets knows. And that's terrible. That's what happens, And what the thing is that whoever's responsible for this will get that same energy that he gave off.
So what you saying now, like, what's going on for today, and how's your day been?
Today's been kind of lively. I got drawn down by the police, harassed regularly. I did a little interview for my aunt, because right now my aunt is not really. Some of my family members are talking to the media, but my aunt, she's not really up for it too tough.
So she hasn't spoke to the media yet?
I think she spoke with Dwight Drummond, but other than that, I don't think she spoke with anybody.
So with the media reporting, everything's going on. You probably heard that people thought it was the shooting stemmed from an incident with fireworks. What's out in the media right now that you've heard? I want you to clear it up. Give us the real.
What I've heard in the media is that it's some gang violence, Crips and Bloods, garbage, bullshit, and it's totally bullshit. And the media's just basically trying to over-exaggerate things so they can, get ratings and people can download their interviews and all that good stuff. So right now they're just perpetuating something that shouldn't be perpetuated, shouldn't be glorified. It should be a moment of silence. It should be some symbolic thing, because Jordan was a good youth. He was a good young man. He was an intelligent young man. He was smart. He was strong. He never got in trouble. He wasn't like those young guys who would be doing things like, those guys who instigate, the instigators. That's the best word to call them, instigators, because you can be a thug and not be an instigator and still be a peaceful man. So so he was a good youth. And
give us a good memory that you have that you shared with him, something about him to demonstrate his personality.
I love that boy. He used to always, because I'm his older cousin, and I remember when he was a little baby, and it was like his mother would be like, that's your cousin, and he couldn't even, he was a baby, and then after, boom, he gets big all of a sudden. And I was like, yo, he had a cell phone, he had some girls, he used to love him. I remember when I did the video Hustle On, and it was like, because every youth, every child in the neighborhood, they see that video every single day and download it every day, in respect for everybody who loves that Hustle On video. But he came up to me and goes, yo, you did a video down the lane, man. You got to do the drift for you. You live right here. I want to be in the video. Ray. I can rap. And he used to, always say rap and stuff.
So he's into rapping. What other things was he into? Hobbies and stuff?
Like regular kids' hobbies. Checking girls, chilling out, trying to get a job, making money. Trying to do that, At 14 years old, he was a very peaceful youth. And considering that, they say that when you're around 14, is in the time, 14, 15 is the time where you start turning and start doing if you're going to do something progressive for your life, you'll be doing it. If you do something negative for your life, you'll be doing it. And at 15, he was very positive. A lot more positive than a lot of other youths that are walking up and down right now. I think mothers need to.
Go on.
I think mothers need to just hold their child a little bit tighter tonight. Fathers need to hold their children a little bit tighter, and realize that their baby's still there, and my aunt's baby is not. And
so, what do you think about like the police saying they don't know what's going on right now? They don't know who the killer is. They have like what do you think about that?
Well, the police, the police say they don't know who the killer is. They got so much millions of dollars in cameras, all this stuff that's supposed to stop the crime in the Jane and Finch corridors, and obviously it's not helping. Number two, you can't really blame the police for not knowing what's going to happen because they don't know how to interact with the community initially. So for them to think of getting an answer to what's going on in the crime, they have to know how to talk to the people first and deal with the people properly. And because they don't do that now, so it's going to be, there's a barricade, there's a wall. And some people think it's unfortunate, some people think it's fortunate. But the whole point is that a young boy is dead right now, and everybody's trying to get a piece of this. It's like the way how I feel is like they wanted him to die. Like they just wanted him to, they wanted to hear something. Yeah, Jana Finch, Ray, like, how come it took a half an hour for the ambulance to come from? Where did the ambulance come from? If something happens, isn't there a hospital down the street? Doesn't just come down to where, or like, I don't understand this. Really don't. And I think I know why, because they thought that this particular youth here was one of those statistical youth. And now it's gonna, because this is just started. This just started. It's not going down like that. I'm telling you that. The internet world, everybody listen to me, it's not going down like that. Because Jordan is not going to die in vain like that as a write-off, as a gangster youth, or as a Jane and Finch. Bullshit. That's bullshit. There's no Jane and Finch bullshit. There's no Jane and Finch nothing. It's people, and it's a place, and it's an area, and the people keep on feeding to the stereotype. Why is there so much so-called bad things happening here or whatever? Why don't we look at the economical situation? Why don't we look at the people that live around here? Why don't we look at the way the living is? Why don't we look at the finances? Why don't we look at the social programs? Why don't we look at all these things?
So what do you think about all the media? Like everybody came, like literally everybody, like the whole world came down to Finch and Sentinel, and they're all up in this place. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
It's terrible because they have to come. Jordan has to die because for them to come, and they're doing their job. I don't really think that we have to expect anything but that vampirish vulture kind of attitude from the media. But the sad thing about it is that it's just it never stops. And I guess now people feel more because who feels it knows it, right? So
what's the feeling on the street? Like what's your take in the neighborhood's feeling about this right now?
I'm not everywhere every time, but the people that I interact with are real down right now, and everybody's real down right now.
I heard on the street this could be like the beginning of like Summer of Guns Part 2. What's your take on that?
Oh, this has nothing to do with Summer of Guns or nothing like that. That's what the media wants to. That's another propaganda thing the media wants to pump, so children or people can start thinking like that. It's like you put a thought in their head. They may not do it now, but because the thought is there doesn't mean it doesn't happen. So what we got to do is just got to start squash that and not take that media hype. That's why I went on CBC. I needed people for the world to know that we're not going to just be a screaming, crying black family like you showed on the newspaper, regular mother getting slain, and it just happens in Jane and Finch. No, it doesn't happen like that. And it's not going to happen like that. And this person shouldn't be depicted like that, because he's not like that. So what the media is doing, they're just trying to eat up. But this is the wrong family.
So one last question. I mean, with the media and all the experts, coming out and giving their 2 cents about what's going on, like, now you have this forum now that you can speak the truth. And I mean, what's your feeling that you really want to get out there? Because there's going to be like a white guy down the street like giving his 2 cents. Like you have an intricate connection to what's going on. So what do you want the last thing to say? Sorry, go ahead.
The last thing I want to say is I think people should just not try to over exaggerate what happened and try to exploit it, try to exploit the community and try to make it look like it's a urban problem, or it's a hip hop problem, or it's a black problem.
So besides playing the blame game, you're saying?
Yes, people should stop playing the blame game, and people need to donate money to my aunt, because we have to bury Jordan, and that's bullshit. We have to bury him.
So one final thing, if you want the people out there that don't know Jordan, what's the one thing you want everyone to know about Jordan that no one knows about right now?
Jordan was a very quiet child. He was very peaceful, and he was very smooth, and he had a lot of friends. And I can't believe I'm talking like this. Jordan was a good man, a good young man. He was a good boy. He was the baby, you know, so he didn't have to do anything. His older brothers went through all the garbage. His older cousins went through the garbage. He's seen the statistics. He's seen that route. He didn't have to do that. That's why everybody's upset, because they know that he wasn't like that. He wasn't even called. His name wasn't even called up like that, and that happened to him. He shouldn't have died like that. Everything happens for a reason, but he shouldn't have died like that.